Nigeria, across Africa and around the world. This is Smart Madu Ajaja, the convener of Open Nigeria and Africa Unite, and the anchor of Nigeria Now at ONN, and the Nightingale Radio International from Houston, Texas, United States of America. It is 2:23 a.m. here, Central Standard Time, in Houston, Texas, United States of America. How are you all doing this morning? This morning we are going to quickly consider something. Yes, reactions, trailing the suspension of Senator Natasha Akpoti, coming from across Nigeria and even from around the world. Yeah, the latest being the appearance of ex-Senator Ogunlewe, and I think he was a former minister in Nigeria, to add his opinion to the raging discussion. My own is to do an analysis of what he's going to say today here at the Arise television. Now, let this begin. Take a listen.
More former senators are now reacting to the 6-month suspension handed over to Senator Natasha Akpoti, the senator representing Kogi Central at the National Assembly. Some are of the opinion that a legislative house cannot suspend a member, as a member is not an employee of the house. According to critics, a legislative house cannot suspend a member of the house, as doing so will deny his constituents representation as a...
Absolutely correct. Senator Natasha Akpoti was elected by the people, her constituents, in the Kogi State or Kogi North Central Senatorial District. She was not appointed by anybody. She was not appointed by the rogue they call Jagaban. He was not appointed by any state governor. She has a mandate. Yes, a mandate to represent Kogi Central at the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And so, she is immune to any form of harassment, be it sexual or otherwise, or suspension, or a total abuse and humiliation like what she suffered at the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, dominated by sharks with testicles. Yes, empty testicles, sharks, criminals, rogues, thieves, terrorists, bandits, holding the country hostage. Let's go.
Enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. More so, according to Femi Falana, SAN, in view of the definitive pronouncements of the High Court and the Court of Appeal on the illegality of the suspension of elected members of legislative houses in Nigeria, the suspension of Senator Natasha Akpoti is the height of legislative recklessness.
I can't agree less. Wanton legislative absurdity, recklessness, impunity, unbridled impunity, targeted at one young woman who stood up to say what many people in that house of hell cannot say because they are all corrupt and morally bankrupt. Now let's go.
This suspension, he argues, should be lifted without any further delay. Since the Federal High Court had restrained the Senate Ethics Committee from hearing the complaint against the embattled senator pending the termination of the motion on notice, the Senate ought to have stayed action in accordance with the rule of...
Now, sensing this danger, what was going to follow, her refusal to be cowered by the criminal leadership of the Nigerian Senate, led by a heinous criminal, Senator Godswill Akpabio, who in the first place did not win an election. He is not supposed to be in that place. He has no business being a senator, let alone becoming the Senate president. Now, this woman went to court, yes, preemptively, to stop what was to follow and what followed actually. And the court issued a ruling for a stay of order that they should not proceed with anything until the case was determined. But no, these people will not have it because they have no respect for the rule of law. Why? Because they are all brigands. Brigands don't respect rule of law. Brigand like the man at their helm, the rogue man. I'm talking about Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Yes, who violated and destroyed all of Nigeria's strategic institutions to crown himself president of Nigeria. Yes, they don't care about the rule of law. Now listen.
Joining us now on this show as we look at the 6 months suspension of Senator Natasha Akpoti is Senator Adishe Ogunlewe, Nigeria's former Minister of Works and Housing and a former senator on the platform of the Alliance for Democracy, AD, in
Yes, Senator Ogunlewe is going to be joining the studio of the Arise TV. But before he does that, I want to give a rundown and ask a question. Hello, Spamo from America. We have corrupt leaders here as well. I hope Nigeria can have better leaders. Yes, that is what we are talking about. That is why I am making this broadcast. Yes, it's a crazy thing what politicians do. I don't know that any set of politicians can be as wicked and as corrupt and as morally bankrupt as those rogues in Nigeria. They are total rogues. The ones in America, yes, I know that they do have a lot of criminal rogues as political leaders here. But you know what? America has a system of holding them accountable. And that is what is lacking in Nigeria. The Nigerian system cannot. Nigeria has no system that holds anybody. Yeah, the criminals, they can't be held accountable. The only time Nigerians are held accountable is for poor people who are hungry, who goes out there to steal a couple of cups of rice. Yes, the system will hammer them down. But the big thieves, nobody does anything to them because they control everything. They control the army. They abuse the people of Nigeria with the army. They control the judiciary. If you are a common man, yes, they tell us that the judiciary is the last hope of the common man. No, not in Nigeria. The judiciary roasts the common man, destroys him, and nothing happens. They slaughter the common man, eat his bones, eat him up down to the bone, drink his blood, and nothing happens. They bury him face down, bury him alive, bury them in mass, and nobody is held accountable. But for them, the corrupt elites that drive the political class in Nigeria, nothing happens to them. They kill, they maim, they rob, they destroy, they take everything from the country's coffers. Nobody, I'm talking about nobody, holds them accountable. If anybody actually do hold them accountable, why should a drug dealer be the president of Nigeria? Why should a certificate forger be the president of Nigeria? Why should an identity thief be the president of Nigeria? Why should a terrorist with connection to Boko Haram, be vice president of Nigeria? Why should a terrorist in whose house those who bombed the United Nations building that killed Americans, killed Britons, killed other Europeans, plus citizens from across the world, and it was in his house that the bombers were arrested? Yes, is somebody like that supposed to be holding a high-profile political office in Nigeria? No, the reason is because Nigeria has no system. The system works for only the thieves, the killers, the oppressors, the bandits, and the terrorists. You are asking me? Ask me again. Does that happen in the United States? No. If anybody, I'm not saying that people don't commit crime here. Have you seen any mall? I was in El Paso sometime 3-4 years ago. When the Walmart there, somebody went in there and shot a lot of people. I was lucky that I just left that Walmart before the guy came and shot so many people and killed over 10 people. Yes. But you know, did it take 2 days before they pieced it together and got the people arrested, those who were, the person who was responsible for that killing. Yes, but in Nigeria, they will kill. People will come and cut people away, cut student children away from their elementary school, take them into captivity for months, sometimes years. Yes, and nobody is arrested. We have police, we have DSS, we have the army, we have nothing. None of them work. Why? Because they are all involved. They are all interconnected with what is happening to Nigeria. That is the frustration in Nigeria. That is why nothing works in Nigeria. That is why people come into Nigeria, loot, do whatever they want, and get away unchallenged. Yes. So that is why the country does not have anything. The country is just left, and it only works for the criminals in charge. They control the House of Assembly, the National Assembly, they control the executive, they control the judiciary. They are on the roads. The police works for them, the army works for them, the DSS works for them, the civil defense works for them, the Air Force works for them against the people of Nigeria. That is why they have gagged the people of Nigeria. That is why the people of Nigeria cannot open up their mouth. That is why our people cannot raise their fingers. Yeah, that is why the country has become a country of docile and cowardly people. Nigerians are so coward. Yes, that cannot happen in the United States. People will speak. Are people not speaking against what Donald Trump is doing here? No, in Nigeria, nobody there speaks. You know what they do? They now are moving en masse to join the political party of the oppressors. That is how Nigerians fight their battle, by coalescing around their oppressors. Yes, who will give them crumbs? Yes, and now there's nothing, no more food in Nigeria. These people have infested our forests at all levels in all states of Nigeria with mercenaries, terrorists, and bandits. Our farmers are no longer able to access their farms. Yes. So this year is going to be hell for Nigeria. The economy is laying prostrate. Yes. Infrastructure, non-existent. Educational system crashing. Healthcare delivery system, nothing. Yes, everything is done. The only thing Nigerians do now is pray to God. They believe God is coming to come down to solve all their problems. Yes, the religious leaders are doing their own, repressing the people and exploiting them of their money. The Muslims are preaching hell and violence, hate in the mosque. And that you see them AK-47 beside them. That is what they are doing. They have turned our country into an empire of hell. But for this, let us listen to ex-Senator Ogunlewe weigh in into this matter. Yes, weigh in on this matter of the suspension of a young lady senator who rose up and stood up and raised her finger. You know what they are doing to her? They want to gag her. They call her all terrible names. She's been married 5 times with 5 children from different parents, for different men. Who cares? What has that got to do with standing up for her rights? And that is the mentality of the mostly male-dominated Senate. And sadly, you see men, Nigerian men, from the mainstream public, the Nigerian public. You see the men, a man who is not able to feed his family is raising his stinky voice. Yeah, because a woman is involved. Because our tradition has it that women belong to the kitchen. Women's voice cannot be heard. No, not for someone like me. I was raised by a very powerful woman. My mom was a very powerful woman, but she was so respectful to my father. And we came from a very balanced environment. Yes, everybody understood his or her responsibility. So I'm not going to sit idly by for Nigerian men, especially corrupt men, who sat together to destroy their country. Yes, for 64 years, from one generation to generation, we have had 3 generations of men running the country aground. They should shut their mouth up. Now, let's hear Senator Ogunlewe.
1999 for the Lagos East constituency at the National Assembly. Good morning, Senator Ogunlewe, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning, viewers. A cocktail of issues here. The Senate saying that it has the right under Section 60 of the Constitution to define its own rules and its own procedures. Two, the argument that this issue is not about sexual harassment, but that it is about gross misconduct. Three, the argument that the court had issued an ex parte injunction asking the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Petitions not to proceed with the sanctioning of Senator Udoa. And then the fourth one, the statement already put out there that there are established precedents, both from the High Court and the Federal and the Court of Appeal, showing that the Senate has no powers to either suspend a member or withhold salary payments to either a lawmaker or to the aides of a lawmaker. These are some of the principles.
This is a group of illegal men, corrupt, mostly corrupt and morally bankrupt men. Spies with only how many women? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, one of the women is the one standing up. The 3 other women are against her. And you know why? In Nigeria, some people, some morally bankrupt women, not all, majority of Nigerian women are very good. Some think they can have sex for whatever they want. So these other 3 dissenting women, perhaps from that shade of opinion that their body can take them anywhere. So whenever any woman raises her fingers, they will tell her that this is how it is. This is our situation. They never stand up. They never unite behind their colleague in order to drive a point for that. That is why the women in Nigeria for a very long time have been repressed. Yes, some, and then they pass down this bad example to the younger generation of women that their body can get them anywhere. But when there is a limit to what your body can get you to, when your body gets you to somewhere where you cannot perform, it becomes so obvious that you do not merit to be where you are. And that is some of the things that we see in Nigeria. But we are going to, now, another question, what they are trying to cover up, in order to, the reason they want to slam dunk this girl so that she will forever be silent is because they don't want to hear the issue of her being sexually harassed by the rogue, the mob, the leader of the mob. I'm talking about no other person than Senator Godswill Akpabio, who has become a judge and a prosecutor in his own case. He is the one shamelessly still reeling out rules in a case that he should have excused himself to allow some other persons to preside over it and for him to have the opportunity to clear his name. But he is the bully, chief bully in charge of the Senate. Nobody challenges him. Yes, anything he says, everybody agrees because all of them are corrupt. And you'll be shocked how much money has exchanged hands within this short period of time that they are conducting this show of shame. It is sad what Nigeria has become. Listen.
Things out there in the public, and I'm sure you are fully aware of them. But as someone who has been in that same Senate, what's your reaction? Thank you very much for having me. Thank you for your viewers. Yes. Well, it is not unusual for the Senate to make mistake. And we have a platform for senators in 1999 where we discussed this matter. And the structure of the Senate has provision to avoid this level of mistake. We have the Committee on Judiciary and Legal Matters that will have been given the opportunity to review the report of the Ethics Committee. So that this level of blunder. One could see clearly that they went on a frolic and it was a self-serving report.
Absolutely.
They didn't believe that there have been senators before them and what has been the reaction of the judiciary to this level of suspension. Natasha is the 6th senator to be suspended, from JKF Waku to Omar Gege to Ningi, to Aline Dume.
Stephen,
is that your new book?
Yeah. Look at this. I'm giving this book away this Sunday for free.
And the court has frowned very vehemently to that kind of attitude. And they should have already known that what they are doing was just going on a heroic adventure, which could be prevented. And it is a pity. During our days in the Senate, we had elders, people who are old, who are mature, that this sort of issue should have been discussed in-house. Like the relocation of seats is normal, but it is not when a senator is entering the chamber that you now tell the senator your seat has been changed. It is totally administratively wrong. If you are changing a seat, which is okay, you will have conveyed this decision to the senator prior to the resumption of the plenary, so that you will have known that, look, as I'm going in, they've changed my seat, and the special account will now show me the new seat. But for you, it is unconventional for you to just enter the chamber like that, and somebody tells you, look, this is not your seat has been changed. It is very unusual. It is a little bit of, somebody will be curious why this of this should happen at that level of responsibility. No, it is not right for them to take this decision. And Nigerians have seen that if Natasha goes to court, it is clear that you've gone outside your power and authority. You cannot strip the lady, the single senator, for being a senator. It is not possible. It's also a responsibility. The senator was voted for under the Nigerian constitution, and you are a minority. The majority in our constituency voted for her.
Absolutely.
How can you say they should not pay our salary? You are not the one determining our salary.
Insanity.
It's the Revenue Mobilization and Regulation Commission that determines salary of a senator. How does that not become your responsibility to say you will not be paid?
It's a mob action.
There is, under Section 111, a commission that is responsible for the provision of payment to senators. You said they should withdraw security. You are not the Inspector General of Police. That is the man responsible for deploying policemen to senators. So all these things they have done, honestly, they did it in a hurry. They should sit down and readdress it and make necessary adjustments. It cannot stand, definitely.
Thank you so much, sir, for this insight, especially from your experience. And I'm glad that for the last statement you made, where you said they were in a hurry.
Yes.
And so it would then pique the interest of a number of people that why the rush? If you want a due process to follow, why this happened in about 24 hours, despite the fact that there was a court order to actually suspend the proceedings, which maybe they said they were being served, or the court had no jurisdiction to determine how the Senate operates. So I'd like you to speak to that. And also, this order 10, can you give us clarity on it, which she raised after she was asked to move her seat? Some people have said, irrespective of the fact that she raised order 10 on privileges, she ought to have gone to her new seat in order to have been able to raise an order. Is that true? Whereas she said that order 10 gives her the privilege to be able to raise, even if she were lying sitting on the floor or anywhere, as long as order 10 was raised, she ought to have been heard and then a decision made.
So honestly, that is neither here nor there. There must be order in the Senate. And she, out of inexperience, she exposed herself to that level of embarrassment. What normally she should have done was to run quickly to the seat and continue. But when you insist on talking from a seat not allocated to you, I think the Senate President has authority to debar her from talking. But that Section 10 is so crucial that under any condition, if anybody raised that order, you must listen to the senator, but not when you are not properly.
Yeah, Senator Ogunlewe is contradicting himself. You have to take a position. Order 10 is Order 10, and the provision is very clear as it affects the proceedings of the Senate. When somebody raises order 10, that person deserves to be heard. That is the position.
Seated. She should have just run to that place and talk. Nobody could have prevented her. But she shot herself on the foot by insisting on.
No, she did not shoot herself in the foot. She did what she was supposed to do, taking cognizance of what happens in Nigeria with their fetish behavior. It looks like she understood what was amiss. Why did they change her seating arrangement without informing her prior to making that decision? Who knows what they may have planted on her seat for her to sit down, and she gets stuck. And then the next thing we're hearing is she's sick, and before we know it, she's dead. Yes, talk. You are all involved in the black, dark, bloody business. That when somebody is not in sync with your foolishness, that person becomes a target, and you do everything to knock that person out of existence. She acted right. She acted with knowledge. She acted with preemptively with suspicion that something was amiss. So she doesn't have a fault there. She did what she was supposed to do. She raised an objection. She ought to have been heard, and she was not heard. She went to court, and then they tried everything. They disobeyed court order. They should be arrested and imprisoned for contempt of court.
Remaining at a position not allocated to her.
And then the rush for the processes, the 24 hours, because you talked about that.
That is Nigerian factor. Now you have to rush to make sure that you achieve your aim. They know what to do. They know that they have to consult widely. There is a committee on judiciary and legal matters that should have looked at that and tell them this is not possible. This will be, rubbish by the judiciary, because there are precedents. There are precedents. How can you commit an offense? You know that it is against the law. You didn't elect the woman, and the way they were talking, it was total ignorance of the privilege of a senator to say she should not parade herself as a senator again.
No, there was no ignorance, it was bias. In fact, before that judgment was made, I had pointed out occasions where I saw bias in the ethics committee, and I was correct.
How can you say a senator should not parade herself?
So it was bias. So in fact, let me also even tell you this, sir. Do you know, in order to be able to perpetrate their sinister act, they moved the day forward. They moved the time 30 minutes forward. And I pointed out on air last week. I showed the bias, and I was correct.
Nigeria in the hands of criminals. Hold on, we'll be right back.
There's a new app that I just want to ask you. For us to start restoring, if there's anything we even call integrity of the Senate, because I don't think there is, what punishment do we mete out to a Senate ethics committee that was unethical? Unethical with point A, violating a court order. A Senate ethics committee of the Federal Republic of Nigeria violating a court order of the Federal Republic.
Lawmakers breaking the laws. What are you talking about?
Evade and discard that order, that it cannot stop them from their intention to perpetrate bias, unmitigated bias, which they ended up doing. What punishment should be given to the ethics committee?
We refer a lot to the Senate president, and one has no doubt that he was under influence. And the chairman of the committee
was under the influence of who?
Of Mr. President, the president of the Senate.
Okay.
All these things are not done normally. It was predetermined, and they knew where they were going, and they put themselves into the eyes of the public as people who are not properly organized. You don't rush things that you know will be, you show bias, will show that you are not really serious people. That is what they exhibited. There was no need for hurry. If they knew what they were doing, they should have taken more time. But it is unfortunate.
So what punishment do we give to the Senate Ethics Committee that became unethical?
It's in the good book of the Senate President. No, it's in the good book of Senate President.
So would they just go scot-free?
That's nothing anybody can do.
Subjecting our Senate
nothing anybody can do.
Show of shame.
Yeah, in a banana republic.
Biased and ethically unbalanced, and they are the charge of an ethics committee.
If the distinguished Senator Natasha goes to court, all these issues will be addressed, and it's left for the judge to condemn that kind of attitude, which they have done in the local constitution you cited, in the case of the Speaker of Bauchi against the House of Assembly member.
That's the Bauchi State House of Assembly versus Rifkatu Ghana,
yes,
which is a 2017 case.
Yes.
But okay, now the Senate is insisting that it can make its own rules. It says in a statement, even by Senator Bamidele Opayemi yesterday,
there's no rule you can make
this issue is not about
that will supersede the rules
conduct on the part of a member
that has it based
Senate
on the Constitution of Nigeria.
Judgment here over this matter. Since the matter is going to go to court and it's within the rights of Senator Akpoti to go to court, let the court decide what happens. But we were listing the various senators who have been suspended in the past. We listed about 5. The total with Akpoti now will be 8.
Yes.
We left out Aton Zeribe. He was suspended at the time. We left out Senator Issa Mohammed from North Central. We left out Senator Femi Okunomu. So the total now will be 8. But I would like you to comment on this issue about sexual harassment. Is it the normal thing in the Senate that the men don't keep their eyes where they should place their eyes? They are always looking at the female senators, even when we say they are very few. How about this issue about sexual harassment in the Senate or the National Assembly? And how serious, in your estimation, is it? And is it an issue that should still be addressed?
Well, my own experience, the female senators did not look at themselves as if they were inferior to men. They were even up to us. If you even mention that Itagiwa is a woman, the response you are going to get will make you ashamed of yourself because they will stand up to you. So, but the beauty of distinguished senator.
She made mention of Senator Itagiwa. And sadly today, Itagiwa is on the side of those oppressing Senator Natasha Akpoti Udwanga. Why? Senator Itagiwa has been in the public domain for a very long time. How did she get to the Senate? How did she become such a high-profile figure in Nigeria? Big question mark that some Nigerians have answers to, and which she has answers to. When you see people like that start coming against fellow female senators, there is something hovering in the horizon. Something ain't right. Itagiwa is a disgrace to womanhood.
Natasha, it's a problem to her.
How can beauty be a problem?
Why should somebody's beauty be a problem to anybody?
Somebody who is pretty passes by you, your attitude will change. You can smile, you can wink,
wow,
but you may not talk to her. But
wow,
her beauty is a problem.
Can you imagine here a former senator saying that a woman's beauty is a problem to her?
When she's passing,
wow,
there's no way a man will not look at that woman.
No, their job is to go and make laws for the good governance of Nigeria, not to look at beautiful women.
No,
this is the foolishness in Nigeria. This is the ignorance we see, high profile. Stupid people everywhere in Nigeria.
I think I have to see my optician. These my glasses may not be working very well.
Wow.
I see beautiful women every day.
Is that not misogynistic in itself? itself.
Yeah, beyond that.
It may be, you might time it, but it is inbuilt.
Beyond that, Senator.
Let him deal with the question of sexual harassment.
Okay.
So, it did not happen in the Senate. He said when she visited the home of Mr. President. So, and that is a different matter. So, don't let us relate that one to what is happening in the chambers. There is no harassment at all.
All right, so we have to relate it. And the reason why is because what she said was that as a result of her refusing his advancement,
yes,
she was maligned in the Senate. So the consequences of what happened outside the Senate
is brought into the Senate
on her effectiveness as a senator. Because she raised the points that when she would raise her hand,
Nigerian men are mostly full of shit.
Told her that you know what to do when she had talked about a particular bill that she was pursuing. So sexual
Can you imagine
does have an impact
that her beauty is her problem?
Beyond that, Senator Akpoti himself said that, when he was receiving the gift from the women legislative officers or his staff, that they are all beautiful women. Has he ever harassed them? So that excuse about the fact that because she's beautiful, she's now in danger. Maybe the suggestion would be that women who are beautiful should wear a burqa so as not to upset the men or to aggravate or to instigate harassment, as you have said. But he said himself that beauty is not a problem for him. He's surrounded by beautiful women and he has never approached them. So that's not the issue about beauty in his opinion. But I want you to talk about the fact that she mentioned that the actions that happened outside the chambers were affecting her job as a senator within the chambers, and that's why she brought the case forward.
There are psychologists who can be more, appropriate in commenting on this sort of issue. Me, I am not an expert in this area, so.
But you're an expert in saying that her beauty is a problem.
To my mind, it's not a big issue.
Really?
Abroad, yes.
Wow.
Nigeria, okay.
Wow.
When you are sexually harassed, you refuse. That's all. What is important here?
Wow.
When they wink at you, you wink back. You wink back.
So
you say your friends.
So it's beyond winking. I want to wink at you.
Wow.
Wink back. It's not a big issue.
Can you imagine?
Why do you think?
Can you hear this?
No, it's beyond
it is not sexual harassment. The woman will refuse.
No, that's not sexual harassment. I already explained what happened.
He doesn't even understand the meaning of sexual harassment.
You have the right to refuse. But if the person who is in a position of authority
Former Minister of Works
decides to use that as a weapon
and ex-senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria doesn't understand the meaning of sexual harassment. What a country.
From a woman who is a boss, and because of that, she denies you promotion, doesn't allow you to do work. In this instance, she has the right to represent her constituents, and if that matter is disturbing that, then she has the right to speak up. And so it's just like our daughters. If we have daughters who come to you and say that, Daddy, there's this man in my office, he's oppressing me, he won't give me promotion, I can't get raised because I refuse to sleep with him. That is sexual harassment. And so it goes beyond winking. It goes beyond, I'm talking to you. It is the fact that a woman has a right, or a man is disturbed as a result of not, if it's consensual, they are both adults. Yeah. But if as a result of me saying no, you refuse to accept the no, and then victimize me for that, that's a big problem, sir. Don't you agree?
I'm not an expert in that.
He's a dishonest man. Yeah.
There are people who have gone through this thing.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, because most Nigerian men sexually harass people. So, and they don't agree with it. So it's not going to come out straight.
She's an endangered species. And I know some of them that will get their way through no matter what you want to do.
Okay, I want to ask this question, sir. Please, with due respect, sir.
Wow.
If Senator Natasha Akpoti was your daughter, how would you react to all of this?
Yeah, good question.
She's been treated and these allegations of sexual harassment. If she was your own,
I have a personal experience.
Okay, sir.
My sister's daughter was at a university in Nigeria,
yes,
and she was being pestered by the lecturer.
Yes.
My sister went to see the lecturer and told him, look, this is the complaint from my daughter. Please leave her alone if you don't want trouble. And the man said, no, it's not. Just don't let it be. So there are ways of going out of that. Probably they say they are friends.
But in this case, you cannot see that sexual harassment is an issue. At first, you said it's not an issue, but you now see that it was an issue this country with your sister's daughter, and she took action. But what in this case, where there's nobody to call Senator Godswill Akpabio, because he's the Senate President number 3 man, probably the only person that could have probably called him could be the number 1 man in the country. And we have not seen, I might not have the facts, in this case where there's nobody that can go and warn the Senate President, as your sister went to do for her daughter's lecturer, what can be done?
In the Senate, every political party has a leader. And probably she could have reported to that leader who will have approached the Senate President to discuss this matter. And there are ESCO too, executive of the Senate. She can approach them and they will call the Senate President attention to the complaint of the woman. Or tell her husband, let us go.
We got a long way to go in Africa, man.
This matter. So the 3 of them should have sat down. Okay, look, leave my wife alone. What is your problem?
But sir, with due respect, that's what she did by taking it to the ethics committee. But they have now left the substantive case of investigating, which they have not talked anything about that. They are now saying it's because she had an altercation and a thief with the Senate President before, we should suspend her. Because the same thing you are saying, that's what she has done. She has...
They have bias. They should have separated the two.
Sir, let me ask, what do you recommend as a way forward?
It's not going to be forthcoming.
He has been talking about integrity of the Senate, but what should be the next way forward? And to resolve all these crises, should we recommend to, the establishment that going forward, beautiful women should not be allowed to go into politics? Because if beautiful women don't go into politics, I assume that men, the way you have characterized them, will not wink at ugly women. Since it's natural for them to wink at beautiful women. So let's just ban, perhaps,
backward, mentally backward people, Nigeria. This is how the type of people lead in Nigeria.
They can get together and go and meet the Senate President. They are stakeholders in the Senate, and then let them talk to him, discuss with him, and then they will have a way. Everybody must look at himself as a stakeholder in this problem, particularly when we have been in the Senate before. Either we are a senator or we are the president of the Senate. They should not sit down and criticizing on the pages of newspaper. They can form themselves into a committee and meet Akpabio, who probably is their junior. They should not put the Senate in this level of disrepute.
What? It's a useless Senate in the first place, including you. Looking at what is coming out from you, Nigeria has never had the best of Senate.
I'm not a beautician, but I know beauty is a problem of a woman.
It's a problem.
Yes.
All right. So maybe you would recommend Dr. Batistan's that beautiful women stay out of politics.
No, go, but know your way out.
Okay. That's interesting. Women are now in danger too.
No. They are clever women.
Wow.
Women are skillful.
Okay.
A woman of 40 years is more experienced than a man of 70.
Okay, so beautiful women have sense.
Very good.
Okay. All right.
They must find their way out of the system.
All right. Okay, sir, that's in your opinion. But let me ask you very quickly, and I'm glad you talk about former Senate presidents who have a role to play in this matter because they have experience, they're older in terms of the years. Senator Bukola Saraki has spoken out and he's made his stance very clear that, as he did, he suggests or he would recommend that the Senate president steps aside whilst the investigation is ongoing, just as a matter of integrity. Would you agree with him?
That is normal.
All right.
And that should be one of the...
Akpabio has no integrity. He's a rotten man.
You have to vacate your seat. That is normal. But they should not sit outside and be criticizing. They should form a committee. They are stakeholders. In whatever happened to the Senate, they've been there before. They should not allow that institution to go down the drain like this.
He's down, gone.
And go and meet himself.
Everything about Nigeria has gone down the drain.
It can be solved together.
Real quickly, I just want to also ask one question. In your time in the Senate, was there any form of, high-handedness because a man felt it's higher than women? And how did the Senate then deal with matters like this? Misogyny, as it were.
We have a committee of elders, people who are old, who are experienced, they will not allow the Senate to go into this sort of mess.
And you say there are not enough elders in the Senate as we speak today?
I don't know. I don't know their experience and exposure. But in any institution, don't allow this sort of thing to happen. If you are elderly people, what are elderly people in the community for? You don't sit down. You call yourself, look, let us talk about this thing. We are not talking about us here.
When they talk about this elder thing in Nigeria, elder has never been an example. What will he offer? Nothing. Corrupt elders.
It's everybody.
Yes.
But look at 13 of them did not sign. But they did not protest properly.
But a lot of people also said there's a level of unfairness, and I'm proving to you. There's been videos making the rounds of the current First Lady when she was in the Senate. That she too stood her ground firmly, but very brazen in some cases. But nothing happened to her.
Rogue First Lady.
Because she had a man in her life that was a strong man. Do you think if Natasha's husband was a strong politician too, and Senator Natasha was a strong politician, all of this will happen to her?
Anybody that knows distinguished Senator Remi Tinubu will know that she was a teacher. And you don't mess up with a teacher because she will mess you up too. So you cannot go even near that kind of woman because she will stand up. It's just like Itagiwa. They will stand up to you as a man. So it depends when you look as if you are a female and you are less than a man. That's when it
So why is the Senate now suspending Senator Natasha Akpoti for standing up as a woman?
It was bias.
Okay, so they are wrong.
They are very wrong, of course.
Very good.
They went, something that they should have managed better.
Okay, I want to believe that Senator Akpoti's husband is also a strong man. Men have relative strength depending on the area of operation. Well, I'm sure he's also strong in every respect. But this is a question. What came up over the weekend was the Minister of Women Affairs saying that President Tinubu is going to wade into the matter and that the executive is going to call the parties involved and they will find a way of resolving the matter. Should it be the responsibility of the executive arm of government to inquire into a matter like this on the floor of the National Assembly?
I want to buy your house. I can pay you cash for your house no matter what condition it's in. If you need to sell your house for any reason, click the button under this video to see if...
My own, suggestion is for the president to invite a committee of past president of the Senate to talk to them. I think it is more respectful if they go to that avenue, not the president talking to them. He can instigate the past president of the Senate, the other senior member who participated in the Senate around. He can call on them. I think I probably will listen to those people a lot more because they will be talking from experience because they've been in the Senate president before.
So in other words, the Minister of Women Affairs has no role in this matter.
Totally.
And she's wrong to have expressed the view she's
That is our own interpretation.
Okay.
But my own interpretation, let it be a Senate affair. Let the distinguished past senators, elderly senators, retired senators to come together and go, because we can enter the chamber and talk. Once you are a senator for life. So they are not going to be strangers if they allow them to enter. They can enter the Senate and discuss. Nothing will happen. They can talk on the floor of Senate. They can close the door and talk to themselves in an executive session. A senator is permitted to do so. So they are not outsiders. Let them sort themselves out with past Senate presidents, elderly, Senate people, members of the Senate. They will iron out the matter easily.
Okay, thank you. I like that you sound very passionate about upholding this institution that you were once a part of. And a number of former senators who served, like you said, once a senator, always a senator, have come out to speak in defense of the institution. And from what you're saying this morning, you're not quite happy with what looks like it's descended into disrepute. How can we begin to restore the dignity of the Senate again, of this institution, which is the third arm of government? What are some of the measures that must be put in place? Would you talk about the leadership, the kind of leaders that we have there currently? You talk about elders. Should we also look at the recruitment process of these members? And then the makeup of the Senate in itself. Women in the Senate chambers, would you recommend that we should be looking to have more so that there's fair representation? And this thing you said about not understanding sexual harassment, at least if there are more women there, more when there'll be more education for members who perhaps do not understand fully what it means so that then they're able to make a better decision around this.
The system of politics that we are operating does not give room for people who are competent but have no money to survive in this type of election. In an election which is constituency based, small constituency, then go into electoral college. It's cheaper, it's more dignifying, a woman can fight. But for a woman to fight to be a senator in Nigeria, we are talking about 50 billion naira to start with. So where will a woman get that money? It's too expensive, yes.
No, women do have that money.
Then if you have money, go into it.
Some women have it, and people don't use their money for elections as well. You get support from people who believe in your cause. Men do it as well.
Can they pay back?
50 billion.
50, can you?
The problem, you have to pay back.
Can you hear, Nigerians, people of the world, can you hear from ex-Senator Ogunlewe what it costs to become a senator in Nigeria? 50 billion naira. 50 billion naira, maybe bad was exchange rate. That's about 1 billion US dollars. Did President Donald Trump spend 1 billion to become the president of the United States of America? And you see why Nigeria is populated by thieves at all levels. Only thieves with empty heads, with nothing to offer the people, but everything to steal from them and wreck their country. Those are the people in power in Nigeria. And that is why I tell people, those who are talking about 2027, they are going to change Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I am wondering how they are going to change him. How they are going to change him unless you are a thief. And the recruitment process for leaders in Nigeria, the best never come out. The leaders of Nigeria are on the cobs. They are not anywhere near anything that will take them to the position of leadership in Nigeria. That is why thieves, I am telling you, thieves who have never owned companies before, they have never managed any institution. The only source of income for them is through politics. Politics is the biggest industry in Nigeria. It is the reason the Nigerian economy is on the canvas. It's the reason the educational system is doing everything but providing an environment for teaching and learning. And where our young people are graduated, they graduate mostly thieves and murderers because they don't go there to learn anything but practice courtism and some they call runs girls. Yes, they run around having to do things by all means in order to survive. And at the end of the day, they are awarded degrees. When you put them to a place of work, they can't perform. This is the Nigeria that we have right now. And are we not at that point where something drastic should happen so that we can save this country from dying? Can you imagine the pains of having a drug dealer as your president, a drug dealer who knows next to nothing, a drug dealer who cannot articulate anything? All they do is call him Jagaban, money that he stole. He never worked one day for his money. We don't know his date of birth. We don't know his place of birth. We don't even know if he's a Nigerian. We don't know anything about him. We don't know the school he attended. We don't know the high school he attended. All of a sudden, he ended up in the United States. Under whose name? Forged the name. Yes, these are the people leading Nigeria. How are they leading Nigeria? For 64 years, the country has been led on the pathway to destruction, and we still can't get it. Only thieves become anything in Nigeria. They become something not to be of use to the people of Nigeria, but to destroy the country and impoverish the people and make them most vulnerable for destruction. What is wrong with us Nigerians? Why are we not thinking? Isn't it time we stand up as a people to say, heck no, enough is enough. Let's get our leaders, no matter how poor they are. The man with the idea rules the world. Yes, Obama, Barack did not have the amount of money I had when he became president. Yeah, his bank account was not near half of what I had in my own bank account. But America is good at looking for those potentials that can drive the country forward. We, the drivers of Nigeria, are somewhere either frustrated outside the country or languishing in penury in Nigeria because they are never given the access to lead. When they are talking about political parties right now, they are organizing, some of them realigning, some forming new political parties. All the rogues are gathering together, depending on what they want, how they want to kill Nigeria. That is what they are after. Now, when the time comes for the people to come and pick up forms, yes, it is only they screen you out already. They screen people like me out. Me who has the guts to stand tall to shoulder with the best on earth. Yes, to advance a cause for Nigeria. You know what? They'll screen me out. They will tell you that you don't have money. You will even see some of the poor people who cannot feed themselves. They will tell you that, Akpabio is younger than me, according to the age he declared. Now, if I go and run for Senate, they will tell me that they will not see the age difference between me and Akpabio. They will see the money Akpabio is presenting. They will see the money criminals like Peter Nwabosh is presenting. They will see the money charlatans like Ned Nwoko is presenting. They don't look at their abilities that they don't have. They don't look at the competency that they don't have. They don't look at the knowledge that they don't have. They don't look at the content of character that they don't have. But those who have it, they slide down to the curb and let them know you cannot be there. These are the poor people in Nigeria because they want that little peanuts to sell themselves, sell their future. And they come back and start asking me money when the damage is done. No more deal. Don't ask me for money. I'm not giving you no money. My money is for me. My money is to drive open Nigeria. So I put sense in the heads of those who can listen. How are we going to go into an election without a preemptive electoral reform? Yes, that will level up everything so that everybody will have equal access to opportunity to be whatever they want to be. Why can't government fund the election of Nigerians? Yes, open it that everybody who wants to be, let them be. Start from your hometown. Yes, let it be that those people in your hometown are the ones who rejected you, not on account of you having money or not. Let them know, they know the difference. And that is why we should go back to what Professor Humphrey Nwosu did to make our elections so cheap. Yes. Option A4 did the magic that America cannot perform. Option A4, everybody go to your community, start from there. Yeah, your community people chooses you, that this is our son, he can represent us. They know you, they know your background. They know you are not a thief or you are a thief. They will choose. And it will be a shameful thing for them to line behind a thief. Yes, you put them right there, put them on the spot morally. And everybody will see it. It will be a transparent process like it was in 1993 that produced the best election ever conducted anywhere on the surface of this earth. That this beast of no nation called Babangida nullified because of some craps who call themselves northern leaders. Yeah, that have held the country hostage for all of its years as an independent country. Why can't we go and do the right thing? Yes, Ruben Abati, you who is talking, those are the things you should be pushing. The media in Nigeria is a big problem to the people of Nigeria because they don't report what they are supposed to be reporting. They eulogize criminals. And then let us break down this system. That is why I don't want to see an election in 2027 without us reforming the system. Yes, make it work for us. Let the best, even if he sleeps on the canvas, let the best. We go look for him wherever he is. We know he has an idea that can drive our country out of the darkness. We go get him from wherever he is. If he's in Europe, we go look for him. If he's in America, we go get him, or get the rest of them, put them together for the good of Nigeria. This is the only way we can. As long as politics continue to be a business for thieves with our stolen money that they will brandish and sell, give our people pittances every so often, close to the election and during festivities, they buy them rice and onions and cooking oil. We are not going to get anywhere. We need to reset Nigeria. We need to reset Nigeria. Resetting Nigeria is all that is needed so we can build a new platform for a progressive and prosperous Nigeria. And if we do that, national security is guaranteed. Peace and progress will be guaranteed. Yes, that is what we need, and not all these dress rehearsals. We are not going to get anywhere by allowing these criminal elites in Nigeria to continue to hold us hostage. If we cannot reform our system in a manner that we give free and blanket access to opportunity to everybody to be whatever they want to be, we are joking and we are not going to get anywhere. Nigeria will continue to die and die completely.
How do you pay
If
back?
they give you loan,
Or is it a loan?
yes.
So how do you pay
If
back?
you are there, I'm a company.
Okay.
Are you going to talk about my interest in that Senate so that I can get more contracts? Can you put my name in the budget? When you talk about budget party, it is part of an arrangement before they got there.
See?
I'm a company.
This is why they don't get anything done for Nigeria.
And I want you to be in the Senate. So when my project come onto the floor of the Senate, you make sure that money is there.
Okay.
So
Wow.
I don't suffer. So all type of people participate, but it is not cheap at all.
No, but I want to just probe that, sir. So does it mean that the people who we currently have, at least the style of election that we have currently, is not representative of the people?
At all.
It's only representative of
representative of
interest.
money.
Of interest, and how do we? But that's what I'm asking. How do we make it better? Because that's why we are here.
Make it a parliamentary.
Okay.
So that your constituency is small and you can afford to pay. You are a professor, you are intellectual,
Yeah.
you are very good, but you don't have money. But you can survive within a community. When they now elect you, you now compete in a collegiate matter. Okay. But if it is the way we are now, honestly, a sane person will not waste his money in politics.
Okay, I would like to come back to that your 50 billion. How practical is it? Because it just looks as if we just throw figures. Do we know what 50 billion naira is in this country that it is today? And I would like to interrogate that quote further. So are you saying that probably everybody there had to expend that level of money? Because if I have 50 billion naira, I wouldn't be in the Senate. I'm sorry, with due respect. Because if you look at even your yearly allocation for a 4-year term, probably out of the budget you get about 1 or 2 billion. You don't even make up that 50 billion in return. Or is there any other thing they are making that you want to tell us? Tell us, sir. Tell us.
Skill. You have to be skillful to survive in our parliament.
Skill corruption.
No, we don't call it corruption.
So what is it?
But skill, we call it skill.
Wow.
You have to be skillful.
How do you?
Wow.
How are you skillful to make?
I don't know. What I'm just saying.
Can you imagine?
Our electoral system is too expensive.
Yes.
For decent people, you cannot borrow money. What I'm saying, you cannot borrow money for an election. You can sell your property for an election. You can steal money for an election. But a sane person will not be a businessman, and from your profit, you say you are going to politics to waste it. It's too wasteful.
Okay, sir. Now, we have electoral laws in this country, and there's something about campaign finance. There is a cap on election campaign spend, and there's nowhere in the relevant sections of the electoral act that 50 billion is the amount. If you spend 50 billion naira to go to the Senate, then to become president, you probably need 100 billion
More than that.
naira.
More than that.
Well, so I'm saying that this is not what the law says. Are you saying that?
Is he talking about, is this one is talking about the law? Who obeys the laws in Nigeria? He's telling you the truth about what it is, and you are telling him about the electoral finance campaign law. There is nothing like that. It exists in the paper. Nigeria has the best blueprint on anything, including environmental protection. Go to the Niger Delta to see the level of environmental degradation and pollution there. It's not like if you see Nigeria's environmental protection policy, you will thumb up and ask whether these people who wrote this thing live in this century. Yes, it's like that. We have beautiful papers, but corruption. Nigerians are very, very, very corrupt. Nigerians are very, very corrupt. They will circumvent everything. They will short-circuit everything. Nigerians are very, very corrupt. That is why their country is dying. Very, very corrupt. If we don't kill the corrupt culture in Nigeria, if we don't, Nigeria is actually nearly finished. There's a time will come, there's nothing to actually steal anymore. They have finished everything. What is left? What is left? You see the confession coming from an ex-senator. Yes, that is small. I ran for Senate in 2019. I know how much money I took from here, to Nigeria that went up in flames. Even as much as I refused to buy votes. Yes, everybody will build a business around your campaign. Thieves want to come and exploit you. They will give you proposals that they know is not going to work. All around, everybody. Nobody sees themselves as citizens. Nobody, they think themselves of as employees to you, to milk you dry. You blame them. That is why the people are thieves too. The people are corrupt. The people of Nigeria, the ordinary person in Nigeria is very corrupt. Yes, corruption has become a disease. Yes, no, everybody. It is so difficult to stay in Nigeria and you are not corrupt. It is so difficult. It's a culture. Everybody is a victim and everybody is an aggressor. Everybody is involved. In the church, there is corruption. In the mosque, there is corruption. On the roads, there is corruption. Everywhere, there is corruption. Corruption has destroyed Nigeria. That is why the country is. And the most annoying thing, the people won't shut up. They won't see, and they won't blame themselves for the foolishness, for what is taking place in their country. Give them an opportunity to make amends tomorrow. They will do the worst thing. Have you seen a people who will wake up and vote-faced, choose a criminal as their leader? Yes. Even the P2B that people think is a saint. You need to see how much money he spent to get votes. Nobody wants to work for Nigeria as a patriot. Nobody. No Nigerian wants to work for Nigeria as a patriot. Nigerians don't see that country as their country. They see Nigeria as a place where everybody, they will take their own. That's what they say. Let me take my own. Because if I don't now, I may not see you again. Yes, that is how they tore their country apart. Both the rich, the poor, everybody is corrupt in Nigeria. Now the question is, when is enough going to be enough? The country is down right now on the canvas, on its belly. Millions of Nigerians go to sleep on empty stomach. But these people won't stop their culture of corruption. Yes, it's so hard. It's so hard to live a corrupt-free life because it slaps you everywhere. In your front, there is corruption. Behind you is corruption. On your side is corruption. You want to eat anything, is corruption. Even to the pure water you drink, the water is corrupted. Everything about Nigeria is corrupted. Nigeria needs a hard reset. And sadly, who is going to bring the type of reset Nigeria needs? The people of Nigeria are so disorganized, so disunited. They are busy still talking, even as corrupt as they are. They tell you about the gospel of Jesus Christ. Was Jesus a corrupt man? Tell me, Nigerians, who are watching me, was Jesus a corrupt man? Did Jesus do any corrupt thing? Yes, those who believe in Muhammad, did he preach corruption? I'm not sure that he did. I read a little book. I have read so much about the Quran and the Bible. Jesus wasn't corrupt. I don't think Muhammad was that corrupt, if he was at all. All right? So, but their followers are very corrupt. Can you imagine one that says the Sultan, who calls himself the Sultan of Sokoto? But he's not an Hausa. He's a Sultan over overwhelming million majority of a Hausa people. He's a Fulani Madam Fodio minority, not even over up to 500,000. Yes, ruling over Hausa people, millions. I'm talking about hundreds of, tens of millions of Hausa people. Every Hausa kingdom has a Fulani emir, apartheid in Nigeria. And then this is one man who controls, he says he controls the north. He says he's the head of all the Muslims in Nigeria. He's the only one who can see the moon for them before they eat their salah meat. Yes, but yet he rests on moral bankruptcy and corruption. Yes, he's the one who will collect money from any person who wants to be president and then tell them, the Muslim Ummah, vote for him. He's our own. That is how we got where we are. Yes, they say Muslim ticket. Muslim ticket. They want to Islamize Nigeria. That's why he railroaded the millions of Hausa people. I think Hausa people now, they are beginning to open their eyes. We have been telling them, how should a minority whose ancestors killed your ancestors, took their land, took their kingdoms, dethroned them, killed them, and installed themselves as kings over you, and they are telling you that you are Muslims, you are one and the same in Allah, and yet they are still killing you to this. They have killed you for 220 years. This year, it will be 221 years since 1804, when Osman Dan Fodio violently did the same thing that his descendants are doing all over Nigeria, right? The same ideology, the same methodology, occupy the forest, come, kill the farmers, kidnap the women, rape them, and then, dehumanize them, scare the shit out of them, and then come out and proclaim your government over them. Sack their kingdoms. Nigerians are playing with hellfire. They don't know what they are doing. Nigerians, you will suffer for what you have brought upon yourselves. Corruption, your corruption has killed your country. Your corruption is killing your generation. And you still don't see any reason to wake up. Less than 1% of your country population is the one doing you this. They take the Senate, they take the presidency, they control the army, they control the police, they control the DSS, they control all strategic institutions, including the INEC and everything. What is left for you? You come and say you are Nigerian. You are not a Nigerian. If you are a Nigerian, you will stand up in defense of your country without asking anybody for money. Yes, you stand up because you are standing up for yourself. You are standing up for your children. You are standing up for your unborn generations. You are standing up for the future of your country. You are standing up by extension for the whole of Africa, because there are neo-colonial powers, interests right now operating in Africa that want Nigeria to die so they can take over the whole of Africa. You don't see it. You don't understand it. No matter how much we have tried to explain it to you in a manner that you will understand, get angry and start defending yourself, start standing up for your country, you will not do so. You are still seeing Islam. You are still seeing Christianity. Two foreign religions, yes. They were not your ancestors' religions, yes. They made you a fool. And then you have become the foot soldiers, defending Eastern and the Western civilization on the soil of Africa. Shame on all of us. Shame on all of us. We saw God first. The story of the first contact between man and God was the story between an African and God. The story of creation, the first man to be created, was the creation of the black man. He is the father of the whole world, the father of the whole nation. What is wrong with you? You still can't get it. And the reason you are not getting it is because a black man is preaching it to you. If it's a white man or an Arab preaching it to you, you will catch fire. All right? They tell you, destroy everything about your ancestors. Who does that? They keep their own ancestral history. And they tell you to destroy everything about your ancestors. You know why you are cursed? That is why you are suffering. You wreck your own history. They tell you bury it, ancestral spirit, kill ancestral spirit. You buried everything. But I'm here in the United States. I have seen 400-year-old monuments preserved. Yes. We are some idiots who sold ourselves into captivity. And it is only we who can get us out of it. No white man is going to come and do it. He's driven by interest. Yes, interest with around politics and finance. Yes, and economics of control. If you think any man who tells you they give you aid, why give you aid from what they stole from you? Or you think an Arab man, Arabs enslaved Africans, 700 years, 700 years, 700 years, and they gave you Islam. All right? You see God through their own prism. The white man came later from Europe, enslaved you for another 400 years, transported you from Africa through the Atlantic to the Americas, to Europe and everywhere. Yes, God had dehumanized you. Tossed over 12 million people who could not make it across the Atlantic. The same way the Arabs killed a lot of people in the Sahara Desert, transported them through the desert, through the Nubian Desert. Yes, Africa, arise. Nigeria, you are the greatest obstacle to African unity. Yes, you. Nigerians are so corrupt. I'm a Nigerian. I'm not proud of what we have in Nigeria today. And that is why I am the way I am right now. I am not here to tell you what you want to hear, so you'll be happy. Don't vote for me if I stand for any election. But I will be very happy if I leave this earth that I did what I was supposed to do, tell you the truth that not many people are telling you. Nigerians, you are very corrupt. Not just high-profile corruption. Corruption at all levels. Nigerians are very corrupt. You are corrupt by being passive, by not asking questions, by not defending your country, by your sheer conspiracy of silence when things are going wrong. You keep quiet. You are corrupt. By your own fear, you are corrupt. Citizens are not supposed to be afraid of their government. Their governments are supposed to be afraid. Your business as a citizen, one big business as a citizen, is to defend your state, defend your country, not defend the government. That is why I have the problem with Christopher Musa. He's a dumb ass, very unconscious soldier. I don't know what kind of soldier he is. That he makes more political statements than politicians. He's defending government instead of defending Nigeria. They use him to repress and kill our people. Yes, he's busy working with terrorists, killing our country. It is time. I know there are some good Nigerians. It is time all of us coalesce together to give this Nigerian system a fight, break its back, and set our people free. Our people are in captivity. They are so weak and spineless. And their poverty is complicated by their own corruption because they must feed. And they are desperate about that. They don't care what they do to feed. You need to see messages that I receive from young Nigerians. You need to see how endangered our young children who are females are. Yes, in this Nigeria, in the 21st century. Nigeria that is so endowed with everything. There's nothing we don't have. What Nigeria have, America does not have half of it. But we cannot manage anything. We are good only at selling raw materials. We sell our raw materials deep into the future. We have collected money for over 200 years that we have not lived. So the next generation of Nigerians who will come, they will be born into poverty and slavery. We are here supporting a drug dealer and a terrorist, supporting a criminal at the Senate, all right, supporting those who are destroying our judiciary, supporting criminals who are soldiers, who don't know what they are and what their country means to them. It is a sad scenario. It's a very, very sad commentary. But can we do it? Yes. Why? If you have been bad before, now you hear this story. No country should be the way Nigeria is right now. We must wake up now and fight back. Good morning, and I'll talk to you later.